Good morning. This is a special edition of Political Paula because of some breaking news concerning Judge Brett Kavanaugh and his confirmation to our Supreme Court of the United States. Now, I'm going to start this out by saying I am often called, a liberal left wing bitch. Well, part of that statement is true, the bitch part. And I wear the badge bitch. That's a badge of honor for me because I am a bitch. And I am a bitch for all of you. And I am a bitch that fights for Muslims, for Jews, for Christians, for atheists, for Democrats, for Republicans, for independents, for people who don't even vote. I am a bitch. And I will defend you when you are persecuted or when I think you need defending. I fight for you. I'm a bitch. And unfortunately, today, I find myself in a position where, honestly, I've got to kind of sort of defend Brett Kavanaugh. Now, there's a but coming, and it's a big one, and it's coming. Don't worry. And I don't want any women out there to start hitting your keyboards and doing your thumb thing on Twitter. Don't do it. Just wait. Watch the entire show. Okay? Okay, so most of you know by now that Kavanaugh has been accused of groping, forcibly pushing a 15-year-old girl down on a bed, putting his hand over her mouth, and trying to have sex with her, which honestly, I do believe this girl. I do. She's a woman now. I believe her. I believe this happened. He was 17. They were at a party. There was plenty of booze flowing, and we're going to talk about that too. Booze, it's always the alcohol. Blame the alcohol. That's an important part of the story, though. And it's a common thread that we hear with stories like this. Now, whether you believe this woman or not, here is Political Paula's question to all of you. Now, whatever your age, I don't mean to age my viewers, but even if you're 25 or you're 30, I'm 50, almost 54 years old. Are you the same person today that you were when you were 17? Now, please, if you still live in your mommy's basement and you're 45, please, that's not the same thing because, again, that's the economy's fault. That's not your fault. And it's your mommy's fault for not kicking your ass to the curb by now. But I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, the way you conduct yourself. And I really hope to God that most of us would answer that question. Are you the same person you were 35 years ago? Or when you were a teenager, are you the same person today? I hope you're going to say no. I know I'm not the same person today that I was when I was 25. I'm not the same person today that I was when I was 30. And I'm not the same person I was when I was 40, even 45. I have evolved. My opinions on things have changed. Some of my political opinions have changed since doing this show in the last 2 seasons doing the show. We change, we grow, and hopefully we become better people, more informed people. Now, how does this, you ask, how does this justify what happened at this party 35 years ago? It doesn't justify it. That's horrible. Any young woman at 15 years old who is attacked like that by a peer who is 17, still a minor, by the way, not an adult, that's a terrible thing to happen to someone. It's traumatic. It's horrific. But again, and I know that those who follow me, especially on YouTube, and the men who follow me and expect this of me, to be honest, to be the one woman out here who says, now wait a minute, he was 17, he was drunk out of his damn mind. And even she says he did not rape her. It was still a terrible thing. And he should have been punished for it 35 years ago. But are we now going to say that we're going to hold a 45 or a 50-year-old man responsible who, if he has led an exemplary life once he became an adult, becomes successful, graduated college, has a family, is a pillar of the community, goes to church? Of course, that's so important for most people. That's a litmus test. But are we going to hold someone like that responsible for something that they did when they were 17 years old and stupid? Because most 17-year-olds are stupid. 15-year-olds aren't so good either. I know a few 15-year-olds that are actually smarter than some adults, but that's rare. Hey, Gavin, how you doing today? But seriously, this is the reason why, and I'm not talking party here, Democrat, Republican, Independent, there are decent, good human beings out there who really care about America and would love to run for office. But they can't. You know why? Oh, because somebody on the opposing side is going to go back 30 years, 40 years, 15 years and say, oh, wait a minute. I was at a party. I was at a bar. Dude got drunk, touched my titties. Oh, can't vote for him. He's a titty toucher. He was a titty toucher when he was 17. Oh my God. He's out. Good, decent people who made some mistakes, as we all have, are stopped from serving their country. And believe you me, I don't want Kavanaugh confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. I don't. You know me. You all know how I roll. He thinks birth control causes abortions. He thinks you take a birth control pill, you kill a baby. No. He doesn't get it. He thinks an IUD kills babies. No, it prevents babies from ever becoming fetuses, cells. It stops it. If he gets on the court, women all over this country are in trouble. Believe me, Planned Parenthood is in trouble. Gay marriage is in trouble. Because he's a good Catholic now. Whatever he did when he was 17, he's a good Catholic boy now. No birth control. You as a woman must have as many babies as God allows. It's your duty as a woman, damn it. No, I don't like Brett Kavanaugh. I don't think he's going to be a good Supreme Court justice. And again, though, there's a but. And it goes to my feelings about the Me Too movement. And it's the fact that some men are being persecuted and losing their livelihood and their reputations over something they did when they were young and stupid. Really young and stupid. I believe this woman. So if you're in her court, I believe her. I believe he did it. But what I'm asking all of you to think about, and I mean really think about, is if you were going for something that you dreamed of your entire life and it was very important to you, would you want to lose your dream for one stupid night when you were 17 because you were stupid? Ask yourself that question. I believe he shouldn't be confirmed because I don't think he's going to uphold the law, which Roe v. Wade is the law. Women, I don't think Brett Kavanaugh or the Supreme Court for that matter has the right to force women they will never meet to birth babies they don't want, or to die in childbirth, or to birth babies for rapists. I don't believe that. So I don't want him confirmed, but I'm going to tell you something else you ought to know. If Kavanaugh isn't confirmed, guess what else? Trump gets another try. And even if Trump is no longer the president, Pence will be the president. Pence is more conservative than Trump is. And because of party, and we're going to do a show about this, one of the first shows we're doing in the new season in November is about party loyalty. It's almost like Nazi Germany, Heil Hitler. You had to be a member of the party, a good German. Well, party loyalty actually exists in America too, a good Republican. And as a Republican president, they have a duty to their base. So either it's Trump or Pence, but whoever they nominate to fill this seat in the Supreme Court is going to be an extreme conservative because they have to make the base happy. And who is their base? Christians and evangelical Christians, right-wing Christians who believe every woman who has a uterus needs to use it, even if by force. That's our job as a woman. You have a uterus, use it. And we're going to force you to do it. We're going to make the government force you to do it. No more birth control, no more abortions. Just go back to the good old-fashioned knitting needles. That's what they want. So believe me, it's either going to be Kavanaugh or it's going to be someone else with his views, and they're going to get confirmed. Because this president, this administration will never appoint anyone to the Supreme Court who is pro-choice or pro-gay marriage for that matter. They just won't do it. So that's that. But again, I feel very sorry in a way for Brett Kavanaugh and his family. And I have another equivocal but. Because we know what happens when one woman comes out and says, when he was 17, he tried to rape me. It's kind of like a mouse. They tell you, a good exterminator will say, well, you saw one mouse, guess what? There's probably a whole family of mice living somewhere in your house. You see one, there's more. A cockroach, you see one, there's more. You don't just have a cockroach or a mouse. That's kind of how Me Too's been going. Have you noticed? The first woman comes out, Bill Cosby drugged and raped me, and all of a sudden there's 100 other women that come out and say, Me too! So I'm going to wait and see a little bit before I completely defend Mr. Kavanaugh, because there may be others. And this is a lesson I want to send to my young viewers out there especially, and to any viewer really. Because if you're in a party or you're in a bar and your girlfriend, whether she's drunk or not, or the guy is drunk or not, and you see somebody doing something to her against her will, you say something, you do something. You don't shut up about it for 30 years. This is what the problem is. This is why these accusations don't have muster, because why did you wait 35 years? Okay, she had blocked it out. I get that. That's fine. But she remembered in 2012, and it does seem suspect, just like it always seems suspect. An actor gets nominated for an Academy Award or a Lifetime Achievement Award, and all of a sudden all these women say, well, 40 years ago, he touched my boobie inappropriately. I didn't want him to, but he touched it. This bothers me. It has bothered me from the beginning. If you are in a room and your best guy buddy, your buddy, is drunk and trying to rape a girl, you grab him by the neck and you throw him against the wall and tell him to knock it the fuck off. There were other people in this room, according to this accuser. And none of them had the balls to step up and do anything about it. Now again, we're going to get to this now. Blame the alcohol. Everybody was drunk. Okay. Do you know the drinking age in America in most states is 21? There's a reason for that, by the way. Now, whether you agree with it or not, I don't particularly agree with it because I think this attitude in America, especially in certain religions, certain families, alcohol is the devil. Alcohol is verboten. You do not drink. It tends to make alcohol so much more attractive, doesn't it? It's like when you tell your daughter, I don't like that boy, don't date him. You can guarantee she's sneaking out her window tonight and she's going to go meet him for some wine coolers in the back seat of his car. The boys you like, she's going to be like, shit. You don't like a boy, tell your daughter you love him. She'll never see him again. When you punch into some kid's head, drinking is evil, drinking is terrible, the first thing they want to do when they go to a party and there's a keg is drink. In Europe, they educate their children about alcohol. They give small children small amounts of alcohol with every meal, with lunch, with dinner, Sunday dinner, holiday dinners. So alcohol is no big deal. They don't have to sneak it. But think about this. If you tell your child there is no alcohol, you do not drink, there's no alcohol in this house, the second your child is around alcohol, they're going to drink as much as they want. They're going to binge drink. This is what happens to high school and college kids who are dying from alcohol poisoning. Because they got to drink as much as they can at the party because they know once they get home, they don't get no more till the next party. And these brains, these teenage brains, they are not meant to handle that amount of alcohol. And that's when bad things happen. We have drunk driving incidents where 16, 17-year-olds kill other people. Follows them the rest of their life. They have to live with that. Where young people die on college campuses, at high school parties, at sororities and fraternities from binge drinking because they've never learned from people who care about them how to properly enjoy alcohol because it's enjoyable, how to have a glass of wine with dinner or a beer with pizza without drinking the whole keg or doing shots of grain alcohol to get a high. That's the problem with America, in my opinion, and that is why so many of these sexual assaults occur when one or both parties has been drinking. And I mean drinking to the point where the woman is so drunk, she doesn't remember it till the idiot who raped her was so drunk, he puts it on the internet. Look what I did last night. Yeah, she loved every minute of it. So that's also something to think about. Now, again, we're talking 35 years ago. Things were different. There was no Me Too movement. Probably the girl either didn't really remember because she was drunk as well, or she blacked it out, or she was just ashamed. But that's a lesson for today's young women. Someone touches you inappropriately. I don't care if you were drinking. I don't care if you were doing cocaine. If you feel violated, you freaking say something. You don't let him get away with it. And if you have a friend who you see being harassed or molested or attacked by somebody, you do something about it. God, everybody has their fucking cell phones everywhere when there's a rock concert or a car crash or a cop shooting somebody. Everybody gets out their cell phones before they even call 911. Get out your cell phone and do something. Call 911. My friend is being harassed. My friend is being attacked. We're at this bar. Get here. Don't wait 25, 30 years when the guy's running for president. Because, see, that ain't cool. So we don't know what's going to happen yet. As I said before, and I stand by this, I don't want Kavanaugh to be a Supreme Court justice, but I don't want anyone that is so conservative, so on the right, to be the deciding vote on the Supreme Court. It's going to change the court. It's going to change the decisions they make. And while it won't change my life as a woman, because I'm in the menopause, very happily, by the way, it won't harm me. I can't get pregnant. I don't need birth control. I will never need an abortion. But I love a lot of very young women who have a long way to go before they can happily become menopausal. And some of those young women don't want to be mommies. They want careers. They want to go to college. They want to enjoy a life. They don't want to have to marry somebody. They don't want to have to be connected to a man because they have a child with them and they never really loved him anyway. It was just the sex. So I want those young women to have the same freedoms and the same opportunities that I had, the freedom to not be pregnant if one doesn't want to. without having to go through surgery or stock up on knitting needles. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of comments on this one. Can't wait to hear it. And again, there's going to be another new show this week. I have one more show to do. And then I will be on hiatus the entire month of October and be back the first Tuesday in November with brand new Political Paula shows. For now, Political Paula is out.